And recording. So you're talking about Pokemon?
Yes, I picked up my first Pokemon game since Pearl. And it's a trip down memory lane.
You're talking about Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah, it was Shield.
Okay.
I picked up Shield because Ghost type, fighting type, and I'm like, I want that fucking Zigzagoon. I'm picking. I picked the one to game that will give me a moderate advantage temporarily in the story. Yeah.
But it's good, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Because I tried playing Pokemon Sun, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. This game, the story is my big gripe. Do you mind if I talk about the story?
Sure, go ahead.
Story can be amount to do, hold on, let the adults handle it every time something happens. And when that pisses you off, if I want to be the one doing the big thing. But you end up doing the big deal, you summon the heroes. The story, the villains, it's one of those where, it's either this character or that character is one of the villains. Turns out it's both of them, but even then it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be the champion, who's the main character's neighbor, or the rival's older brother. He'll turn around and go like, now, look at me.
You can't really expect too much plot-wise out of Pokemon games.
They have some interesting ideas.
Like in this game or like in most games?
Like, in the older games, they had some interesting plots. Like, there was a fucking slowpoke trafficking where they cut off their fucking tails and were selling the tail. There's references to Team Rocket rebuilding in Crystal. So there is stuff building. There is one minor story thing that I fucking find hysterical. There's a character that looks like the guy from Spacer's Choice. The dude with the bald head? He's a Pokeball guy who gives you a free Pokeball.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He scares me.
Hey kids, come play with my balls.
He's like, hey, you want my love ball?
Hey, going for the low-hanging fruit this episode.
Yep.
And also, you mentioned the character that looks like Eustace's mom from Courage
That's
the
my
Cowardly Dog.
character. That's what they end up looking like. They look like Eustace's mom, Jim Sterling, and the character that Yuki Suki Waterhouse played, and the Ditto from Pokemon or Detective Pikachu had a baby. And it's kind of a good look. It's like, I kind of like it.
Well, speaking of Detective Pikachu, did we talk about the Sonic trailer, the new one?
Oh, there's a new one?
Yeah, I think we talked about that, where they showed the redesign.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's coming out next year. March, I think, right? All the big things are coming out in March. All the big
Godzilla. Godzilla was there first, though. Godzilla was like, smacked it on the ass. We're there by 2017.
There's a new Godzilla coming out in March?
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, that's coming out in March?
I think so. Either March or April. I don't remember which one it was.
I mean, it's probably safe to assume March because, you got all these big things like Animal Crossing, the new Doom's coming out in March. So another video game that's coming out in March. I can't remember, but it's also a AAA game, I think. I don't know. But it's one that...
I want a video game off of real quick. Just my dream game adaptation. I want a Planet of the Apes game where you make your own ape. And make it like a Skyrim-esque game where you do quests like... that fucking chimpanzee ripped me off. Do him like the gorillas would, and you have to break his neck and...
That's that damn dirty ape. Go get him. It's like...
And then the whole mission builds to Charles Heston being the final boss.
Yeah.
He's the Alduin of the game.
I'm trying to think of... You maniacs! You blew it all up. I'm trying to think of a way to incorporate that into
And it slow pans over and it shows Bullfrog Studios and all the companies EA ever destroyed.
He does a fusion with the Statue of Liberty, and you have to fight a giant green Charlton Heston.
No, it's not Charles Heston. It's Dan Aykroyd inside the thing like Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, from Ghostbusters 2. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, they're still doing that reboot of Ghostbusters. I think they are. I mean, they probably are.
I hope they at least mention the girls in some capacity. You know what? I like some aspects of that movie. I will say that. They weren't a complete train wreck. It was a train wreck, but one of the cars kept going, and at least it was entertaining when it crashed into those deer.
You're just saying that because some of the girls were in the movie Trainwreck. Or no, wait. No, I'm thinking of Bridesmaids. Whatever.
What? No. Oh, wait. There was a movie called Trainwreck?
Yeah, that was the Amy Schumer movie. Which
fuck,
had
no.
which had LeBron James in it. So
LeBron, what the fuck?
didn't he do something recently that like made everybody turn against him or something?
He's done it a couple times. Like,
Yeah, there was something recently. I can't remember what it was.
I remember it. We're
No,
all the
because
Cleveland-
like, oh yeah, it was him like siding with China or something.
Oh fuck! Really?
Yeah. I think it was. I don't know if it was him, like something he said or something that it was implied that he was
Like something Nike made him say.
bootlicking them or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think I remember that moment being like, I'm glad. I'm glad that I've always been sort of against him or whatever. I've just I don't really care about
I
sports.
respect what he did for Cleveland. The only thing I don't even watch.
What did he do for Cleveland?
He gave us something to be happy about. We
Yeah.
had the fucking Browns.
Yeah, it's like we haven't really had some like a Cleveland person in the spotlight since I guess Jeffrey Dahmer. So that's probably
Oh yeah, he was a Cleveland boy.
He was like Northern Ohio. So
True.
yeah.
I call him. Well, Cleveland gets Jeffrey Dahmer. Fucking.
Or Logan Paul. That was the other one. the
Oh
Paul
yeah, we
brothers.
should have a Celebrity Deathmatch Ohio edition. Jeffrey Dahmer and the Paul brothers.
Well, the Paul brothers came after LeBron, so they sort of dragged us down again, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's still not as bad as Jeffrey Dahmer, despite all the social media complaints. It doesn't they haven't like eaten anybody from, as far as we know.
They're not as fuckable according to Tumblr.
Really? Because
Yeah.
like I've seen more people on Tumblrites get gushy over Ted Bundy than Dahmer, because Dahmer was actually gay.
Oh wow.
So like, I mean, that's probably why Tumblr likes him. It's because they see him as a bishy or whatever.
I just want to I just want to picture some serial killer in the past, and what I do is I will make my mark in history. 200 years or 100 years later, ooh, woo, Desi, I'm going to cut out your heart and eat it, and poorly done MS Paint.
Yeah.
Other day, I introduced someone to Chris Chan, my fucking grandmother.
Yeah.
She thought it was fucking entertaining. I showed her the best clips. God.
Have you seen those ones that I showed you, the YouTube poops of him? Like, there's that one creator of the internet, which I liked.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I remember the one where it's kind of the movie trailer.
Yeah, there's the Green County Conspiracy. That's probably my favorite one. There's also Chris Chan the sitcom, which is just the Bob video, but with a laugh track on top of it. But I think that the Green County Conspiracy is more creative, so I like that one probably the most.
I always, if I ever make a JRPG, I'm making an enemy that only applies if you have Wi-Fi on, called the Internet Lumberjack.
I mean, that was a different one. The one I'm thinking of is where Chris is screaming at the camera, and it's the first time Bob appears on camera.
And he goes, I'm cutting down the internet?
No, he's like, if the health department in Greene County see that video, they could condemn our house. That was that one.
Sounds like Hank Hill when you said that.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I was watching the fucking Beavis and Butthead movie on Netflix.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. It was on Netflix.
The opening for a couple minutes of the movie is a better fucking Godzilla movie than 1998's Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Down to the fucking camera angle, I'm like, damn, Mike Judge, you show your love.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember. I mean, it is a really good movie. It's a great movie because it's basically a normal movie, except with Beavis and Butthead just happen to be there and just mess everything up and just get by on like pure idiocy and happenstance.
God, I didn't finish it, but I had to leave for today.
I heard that. I remember when remember the MTV revival, or like when they came back in I guess the early 2000s.
Was it good?
I heard people say it's good. Like recently, somebody brought that up, and they were talking about how it was like basically the exact same as the original in terms of like quality and tone. Or I guess it looks a little bit better because it's done on digital instead of cell animation. But yeah, I don't remember it being that good, so I'll have to check it out again on wherever I can find it, I guess.
Coming to a home video retailer near you.
Not anymore, because they're all shut down because Netflix exists.
I picture remember that comic he drew in Netflix where you had a giant mini mart made a store? I picture that's Netflix running through the cities. Crush.
Well, that takes me back. That was Wayne McLean, and even that when I was revisiting it and trying to finish it, that was also kind of a while ago, like 5 years ago by now.
That's actually one of the first things you brought into the Thursday group that I remember. That and AR-15.
Oh yeah, Yeah, those. I have to get back to like I was actually getting back to doing the Yesterday Kids comic, the main one, because I know I was thinking about doing like shorter comics, standalone comics, and there was one that I was like doing a little bit of, but I don't know. I want to just do the main like just one issue of the main comic first now because it's like. I don't know. I just want to get something done, just something ready to show, like in terms of the main thing, before I think about doing spin-off stuff. Just because it's been such a long time since I've been talking about getting it done.
I plan to get one thing finished, one comic, just scripted out completely. I want to return to Orca.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is Orca has something that I miss. Dumb fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm getting sick of stories that are like, you know, if you can start any film with in a world where, just no. You know, that, see, Yesterday Kids, it's like, you can't do that. You can't go in a world where, blah, 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 blah.
You kind of could, but it would take a while to get there.
Yeah,
And
you'd have to go from, the narrator would get kind of tired, and you have to go, okay, take over, Matchbox Cars guy.
Like, you could at least sum it up in just a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's in the future, it's after World War III, people are rebuilding and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Here's some kids doing skateboard tricks in an empty mall.
Yeah, it's not dystopian.
I think I think I mentioned this before.
Mystopian.
Or I know Shannon mentioned this before, was the term hope punk, which I kind of like, where it's or post-apocalyptic, or I like to describe Yesterday Kids as cyber pop punk, even though I don't know there's much cyber punk in there, which is I guess
You can make that a big city, maybe like Bangkok.
yeah, if it's in a big city, then it's probably falls under that category.
Do you get cool light skins,
like what?
Like where you get your skin to light up, or like you get light veins?
I was thinking about like digital clothing, because I know that's actually a thing right now with nanofiber. Like you can have smart clothes, like clothes that monitor your heart rate and like vital functions. That would probably be a bigger and more sophisticated thing in the future.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying not to be too hard sci-fi about it, which is where the pop punk comes in.
Yeah.
It's like you can have.
You're about as sci-fi as Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, I like
maybe more.
I would say it's a bit more dialed back than Sunset Overdrive.
Somewhere between that.
It's a game that I've been meaning to play just because I kind of like its aesthetic, but it's a little bit sort of too cool for you, bro. I don't know if that's aged very well.
It hasn't. Nothing like that does.
Yeah. Speaking of video games, and we'll get back to our creative stuff later, but speaking of video games, I got Halo, the Master Chief Collection on Steam. It's pretty good. I played, right now only Halo Reach is available, and I actually own Halo Reach on 360, but I just never got around to finishing it until now.
How is Reach?
It's good. I can see why everybody really likes it. Though I will say that the Steam version or the computer version, it's a little bit sluggish. Like it has like full 60 frames per second, but I think that it does need to be a bit more polished right now. It's
is that the one with Spartan Lock?
Yeah, where you can you have the armor features, or you get like the sprint function, or you can swap it out for the armor lock or the bubble shield or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's some like audio issues. Like there's some points where if you like fire your gun too much, then the audio desyncs. And like there's like some. I don't know if it's been like that. If it has been like this with the games where the audio, like the gunfire is like a little bit too quiet. Because I remember, I think Halo 3 also had that issue. So maybe all the games have the issue where some of the sound effects are too quiet. But yeah, it's stuff that I hope that they fix soon, because I really would like to see it fixed with this and the other games.
Do you ever add Halo ODST?
I think that is on the list.
The Halo ODST is my favorite outside of 3.
Yeah, it is a really neat game. It's very different from the other games.
I love the idea of them, the orbital drop shock troopers.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Have you ever seen Halo Legends?
That's the movies.
Yeah.
Those short film. I seen it once or twice. I like it. I remember my favorite stories being the one that was very anime-esque with the kids and the AI.
Oh yeah, that was the one animated by the Dragon Ball Z studio.
And I also remember the one that is motherfucking Seven Samurai with fucking Elite.
Oh yeah.
You know what my favorite race in the Halo universe is? The Brutes. I love the Brute design.
Oh yeah.
I want a game where you can make a Halo game where you can play as a Covenant. Imagine playing like a Brute warrior and walking up to a Spartan and just squishing his head like an overripe melon.
Yeah, that'd be neat. But yeah, speaking of ODST, like probably my favorite short from the Halo Legends is The Babysitter, which is about the ODST.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I always really like that one. I don't know why. It just has like a really good, solid story and like good characters.
I like the one where they had the prototype armor that had the fucking laser cannon.
Oh yeah, that was. I think that was just called the prototype.
I think that all of those are pretty good. All the films were.
Yeah, I can't think of one that I don't like. Probably, it's probably like the last one where it's the all CG one with Master Chief and like flying the bike through the.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. It was just kind of like, here's. It felt like a tech demo, kind of.
Here's Master Chief.
Yeah, here's Master Chief doing something cool. Whatever.
You know, I like Master Chief as a protagonist. I never really realized how cool he was. You know, it's canon in their universe that their suit has a vibrator function. I hate the fact that I know that because a friend of mine's a super big Halo nerd. Halo nerd, now Destiny nerd. If only. You know what I wish could be a thing? Being an Anthem nerd. I wish Anthem was a good game.
Oh, yeah. I heard that Battleborn is actually shutting down.
Oh, that fucking pisses me off. We can't have nice things.
Yeah, I wish that they would have at least, given the source codes to the public,
Have someone sneak in like...
Yeah, Hacker Man just goes in there.
You have to walk in and we have to fight Randy Pitchford like an anime boss. Like you walk in there. You ever see the game, what was it, the Suda 51 game of Definite.
Shadows of the Damned?
No, the other one.
Killer is Dead?
No, the new one, the Dark Souls one.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
It's near Simi, but the boss, the big sumo guy in that game, and pictured Randy Pitchford with a giant metal head on a frame. If you kill him, he drops only moderately okay loot.
God, this is gonna drive me crazy because I know what the title is of that.
It's something die.
Dead, alive, dead. I don't know.
Die.
Yeah, it was something like that. Whatever.
Let it die.
Thank you.
Let it die. Let it die.
That would have driven me crazy, until the end of the episode if I didn't.
I should have let you hold on to it till finally.
Oh, that would have sucked. You would have been you'd be going to hell with that.
I'm already going to hell. It says I'll be there for longer.
But yeah, Halo Master Chief Collection. I suggest waiting a month before you pick it up.
Yeah. You know what I always thought was interesting about the Halo universe? I don't remember seeing a lot about the aliens in the games.
Yeah.
I like the aliens a little. I like alien factions.
Yeah. Well, in Halo 2, they explore that, where he plays the Arbiter.
Oh, he's fucking awesome. I remember the Arbiter.
Him and I guess, Vortigaunts. I guess, they're all voiced by the same guy. I guess they could, be all one
Arbiter
character.
should return in the new Halo game.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Can you imagine if that was a co-op function? Just fucking, you make it look like some, pansy-ass, have, for the tutorial, the co-op function, some lame-ass AI, and then plasma sword for the chest, and he gets lifted up. Kind of like Predator.
Yeah. I always kind of liked the sort of, pseudo magic stuff with the Forerunners and the AI stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as overt as Destiny, but it's sort of.
You ever play God, it was a game. I think it was an Xbox 360 launch title or one of the early ones. It's set in Norse mythology, but goblins and trolls are just rogue machines.
Was that too human?
Yeah. Did you know it was made for pirated software? Huh. Fucking Viking to the core.
Yeah, but I kind of miss the sort of aesthetic that Halo had, where it's kind of it has a sort of like seriousness about it, but it's not like
Too dark.
It feels earned, if that makes any sense.
You know what I really fucking love? I love a little bit of industrial strength to your space machine.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ODST game. What I will never forget is when you fucking BAM! Because I was stuck because I didn't realize I had to hit the bolt. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And my fucking sister was like, you hit the fucking bolt. But yeah, I like how the humans have a very, put bolts and hard edges on it, while the Covenant are more smooth and beetle-like, rounded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I wrote down some notes on stuff when I got here. Just like, because I was thinking about some stuff before I got. I don't know. I'm a little bit. You're gonna have to give me a second because, like, I don't know if I mentioned before I got some shock therapy done last week.
Oh my God!
Actually, it was a bit eventful.
Did you have the two characters who were played by the same actors in Rocky Horror show up? There's a movie called Shock Therapy.
That's right. Yeah.
Har har.
Yeah, but that wore me out for like a whole week.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
But yeah, my brain. I actually do feel a lot. My head feels a lot clearer, in spite of what might appear right now. I've just been like having some like really really crazy dreams lately. So.
You think Electrotorrent's dreams would be a bad way to describe them?
You're
dreaming lightning.
Yeah, I'm gonna like get a new notebook to just write down all this stuff, just because it all feels a little like too interesting to just like let it vanish into the ether. But there was a note that I wrote down that just says Chad on it, because there was this one, for some reason, this one commercial from like the 2000s just popped in my head. I think it was a commercial for Best Buy. The "What is up, Chad"? Remember that? Where it's like the guy in, I don't even know if it was Best Buy, but it was like the whole like good-looking guy, blonde-haired guy, and like the nerds from the other company.
Oh no!
I don't remember what that was for. I think that was Best Buy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I vaguely have a recollection of it.
So I was thinking, like, was that for was that the Apple versus PC one?
I think so. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was, but John Hodgman might have been in those commercials. But like the one I'm thinking, like the Apple one, it was John Hodgman and that kid who. Can't remember what he was. He was in like those college movies and
Jesse Eisenberg.
No, but he was pretty big at the time. I remember Hollywood was pushing him, kind of like Adrian Brody. He looked like a junior version of Adrian Brody, but like they were sort of pushing him as the next big thing because he was in Live Free or Die Hard as that.
Yeah, that guy.
As the hacker guy with yeah, but I can't remember his name. But yeah. For some reason, that's just popped in my head today.
You ever see pictures of Giga Chad?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. I was thinking about how like the term Chad has gone through this evolution over the last decade. How it started out as this sort of derogatory term, like Chad, and then now it's just like this thing to aspire to be.
You know what I think about Giga Chad is the picture? That's how a Space Marine from Warhammer looks like without the armor on, but even bigger. Just picture him if he did steroids.
Have they shown what Space Marines look like without armor?
Yes. They do, not in the games, but in art. They look like that and they have fucking bolts in them because their armor isn't connected. It is hot-wired into them. Because Space Marines are basically fucking psychotic cyborgs. And they're also Catholic. God.
Yeah.
I was talking to this dude, and he was like, so did you know that in Warhammer they have a fascist government? And I'm like, did you know technically it's a fascist theocracy? God.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about Warhammer so I could
Can I give you
discuss
a
it.
recommendation? Look up 1D4chan. It is a wonderful setting. Like, Warhammer is one of my favorite sentences. The only thing where this sentence makes sense. Oi, we're gonna drop onto that planet full of lizard bugs, beat the shit out of them, and then wait for them Space Marines to come down with their church. Oh, wait, no. There's spiky Space Marines of a giant lizard god. Yes. Well, I mean, not lizard god, well, lizard mutant, whatever.
You seen any good movies lately?
I have, not actually. Oh, no. I saw Mac and Me. Mac and Me. It was weird. You know what the thing about Mac and Me is? It's like taking a mild hallucinogen and then watching like that's how I would describe it, even though I've never done a hallucinogen. Because you're watching this very normal like family film and a fucking monster that looks like a knob gobbler shows up. That is the only word to describe it.
Did you know there was like a deleted scene where the kid gets shot in the chest?
Why can't have we had that?
Yeah, it's like there was a like the part where Mac heals a kid and like where he's near the explosion.
Yeah.
But like initially it was gonna be like the kid gets shot in the chest, which is why he has to heal him.
Did you ever see the final scene
Yeah.
where they apply for citizenship?
Uh-huh.
That is fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Very creepy looking. Like, send them fucking back to Mars. We have the technology.
Yeah, they are from Mars, right?
Or reverse them from a planet that has Coca-Cola rivers.
Yeah. It's like how did the space probe manage to go there and come back in like less than 10 years?
Yeah, maybe Mac and Me needs a gritty reboot where they're just. And then, like, what they should do is, like, have him, like, heal the kid, but then the kid starts turning into a tumor bomb. And then God.
Yeah, he just starts, like, turning into, like, the David Cronenberg's The Fly.
God. That's how they reproduce. They turn you into they kill you, turn you into a tumor, and then you turn into more of them.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I've watched any movies lately. I did drive by the Apollo. I saw that they were showing the Irishman.
Isn't it on Netflix?
Yeah, I didn't know they were showing it in theaters, or maybe I don't know if they were just showing it in the Apollo. But
you know it's by Scorsese.
Yeah, and I think a couple episodes ago I was talking about how Scorsese was like the cure for anime, and yeah, it's I've been meaning to watch it, so. Because I heard it's really good.
You know what's going to be awful? While I'm watching on Netflix, I'm probably going to be shiny hunting in Pokemon. Jesus fucking Christ, what am I?
That's not how you watch movies, damn it.
That's how like I'm walking. I do that like fucking Scorsese sends De Niro to my house with a baseball bat. I would. I don't do that shit. Like the only time I'll do that if it's like a podcast and it's like someone. Oh wait, this is when I'm talking. Hold on.
But I don't know, like Disney Plus, The Mandalorian. That's basically the thing I'm hearing about like every other day.
My sister has Disney Plus. I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it's pretty good.
I only hope I do like Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's everybody. Did you hear that like Disney was at one point trying to like censor like people from sharing images of Baby Yoda? Just to like
Avoid.
I don't know about avoiding spoilers or if it was like just them being like copyright whatever.
Boomer, okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, I did the OK Boomer trick and it actually works.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Maybe I'm turning into a boomer and getting senile.
There's one that's okay, Boomer, and then it just cuts to the poltergeist screaming fire and flame.
See, the last thing the last thing I wrote down was Doug TenNapel. I was watching him streaming. Like he was doing a page of his new Bigfoot Bill comic. So yeah, he according to him, he does 1 page a day. He can do 1 page a day, and that's something I want to like work towards. Just get on a good schedule and be able to do a page a day.
Doug Naples pretty cool.
Yeah, he is very quirky. One thing he does is that he doesn't wash his hands until he finishes a comic, or it's really weird.
What?
It's just like weird stuff like that.
What if he gets shit in his hand?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
what? Oh no.
That's it. Yeah, it makes me not like if I ever see him at a convention, I probably won't shake his hand.
Hey, you finished your comic yet?
Mm-hmm. Or I'll shake his hand, but I'll carry around like some
have a human skin glove,
hand sanitizer, and I mean you should probably carry hand sanitizer if you're going to a comic convention at all. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. and makes me inspired to work harder on my comics.
I had the idea of cosplaying Orca, speaking of conventions, but I realized there's only two ways that I could cosplay him. As a latex suit, fuck that, that's way too hot. Or the fursuit, fuck that, no.
You get like foam.
Oh, foam could work. Oh, fuck, I forgot about foam.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah, you could get black foam. Oh. You're the man.
Yeah. I know.
That's how we're going to advertise the thing. I'll walk around as Orca, go like, hail in Michigan.
But yeah, I do want to finish a at least an issue of the Yesterday Kids before the next Neo Comic Con, just to have something to show at my table. And then after I finish, actually, I would like to ideally finish 3 issues and like fit them all into one book to sell at the convention, I guess.
Yeah.
Right now, I would like to do the desired means of distribution for my comic would be through Comixology or Gumroad, something digital, and then work my way up towards selling it through print.
Hey, maybe you could. Oh man, I had a cool idea for something. I just forgot what it was, but I'd like to be able to make a coffee book or something with my work. Just a little coffee book.
A coffee table book, yeah.
Yeah, coffee table book.
Have you ever seen the Seinfeld episode where Kramer got an idea for a coffee table book that turns into a coffee table?
That's actually not a bad.
It's a coffee table book about coffee tables, and it has like legs that you can unfold.
That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Kramer's a cool character. Too bad, too bad the show doesn't air anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say you could probably find it. I mean, NBC's new streaming service is probably going to be on there.
Yeah. Now you're going to have to pay for all your channels individually.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, combining all these streaming services, if it's going to be cheaper than cable still.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
We have a new HBO.
Netflix, Stars, Hulu, Disney Plus, obviously, NBC, CBS All Access, and probably a couple of others.
You have the Hindu channel or the Bollywood channel.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I actually brought this along on a whim because I've had this for a while. The Bhagavad Gita. I remember picking this up almost 10 years ago now. But,
how do you pronounce the first word?
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad.
Bhagavad.
I can barely speak English, Tony.
Yeah, but the one line that everybody who hasn't heard of the Bhagavad Gita is the one that Oppenheimer quoted when describing the atomic bomb.
I have become Death Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah. And I don't know, I picked this up. I was sort of going through a phase at the time where I think I was starting to go to church less and less. I was just really non-enthusiastic about. I don't know. I was just starting to question shit, and I had no answers really I could find. So I just started, I guess, shopping around. And
in another life, you could have been Hindu or Sikh or what? I know is Sikh like an ethnic group, I think, or are they a religion?
Sikh. I don't know. Sikh. I think Sikh is the right way.
Sikh.
It's Sikh, bro. Yeah. But I don't know enough about Hindu culture to tell you. But
there could be a reality where fucking I'm the guy who goes to church every day on Sunday. Tony, don't say fuck on this channel anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's at least an interesting text from what I've gleaned, and actually there's some stuff in here, at least some themes I remember picking up on when going through the cliff notes on Wikipedia or whatever that I've actually put into the Yesterday Kids. And there's stuff like religions and stuff from a religion and other cultures and stuff that I've sort of picked here and there and put in my stories. So this one is no exception, I guess. It's just sort of I picked it off my bookshelf just because it's been a while since I picked it up, and also Doug TenNapel, he's sort of a Christian. He's actually a Christian, so and he's open about his beliefs too. So yeah, it's just stuff that I've been thinking about. Yeah, this is just made me think about where I'm at with. I don't really have any specific faith. It's more just a conglomeration of here's a few things from these different things I believe in, sort of.
I am weird about religion. I am spiritual, not religious. That old thing.
Yeah, Daniel Tosh's interpretation of it, where he's talking about girls who say, "Oh, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual." Well, I'm not honest, but you're interesting.
My mom used to say that. That's why I say that shit. Here's the 5 commandments of Zach. Don't fuck with people unless you want to be fucked with. Be okay. The golden rule. I try to respect people. I try. I just think that if everyone could stop being a cunt to each other, we're gonna have a nicer world.
In this case, you should probably stay off social media.
And then the 5th rule, the 5th commandment of Zach, is if you ever disrespect the Siberian musk deer, I will find you and destroy you.
Should look that up just to see what the hell it is.
It's a Siberian deer you have a deer with the fangs.
Oh,
That's him. That's his family.
okay.
The deer killer. I play a hunting game. I had to fucking grind an albino one.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But I
It's
think
interesting.
it does sort of cycle back into my comic. I
Oh
guess.
wait, the Bhagavad.
Bhagavad. Yeah.
I was reading the A as a V for some reason. Okay, it was upside down when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Is it Russian?
I actually was looking at or looking up other books I mean to get around to reading. One of them was Don Quixote. That's probably I can barely read through. I actually haven't finished reading John Carter of Mars or Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, which is a turn of the century book.
How was it?
It's good. It's definitely set the bedrock for a lot of space opera type stories. For starters, Star Wars.
I always wanted to write a space opera, but here'd be my pitch. It's about a guy whose whole job is that an evil empire, is trying to get a dangerous galactic monster. And this dude is to transport from one end of the galaxy to another. And, he meets all sorts of kooky creatures. What he doesn't know is the thing is an extremely dangerous, all-consuming life form. That was my pitch I never finished.
Okay.
Space trucker, basically. I like space trucker as a trope.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that done very much. lately.
Alien and Firefly.
Yeah. And I guess you could say that Han Solo is a space trucker, too.
He's the space trucker who's got the bed built into his truck. He's got the Peterbilt.
Yeah, they didn't really... From what I understand, they didn't really explore that in the Solo movie. To the best of my knowledge, I could be completely wrong because I skipped it.
Do you know what would be a good idea? Okay, here's my pitch for a character I would do in a Star Wars film if Disney had a stroke and my name was drawn to direct one or write one.
Mm-hmm.
A Sith Jedi. What the fuck did I say? A Jedi Hutt.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this.
And I love this idea so much. And you know why? Force lift, throw a fucking lightsaber at him, throw it back into your hand, make him the best duelist in the galaxy. He holds your hands in place.
I was just picturing him using the force to shoot himself at people like a cannonball.
Yeah. Also, they call him the Bodacious is his title. Boomer, okay. I'm sorry. I love that meme.
Yeah.
Listen here, you little shit.
What else was I going to talk about? Feels like whatever cohesive thoughts in my head are just draining out right now, just being like vacuumed out into space right now. This is hard. We're only halfway through, so.
Want to jump into a long creative process?
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, we may as well that's probably a good idea. So.
Yes.
You first.
Oh, how dare you! I've been looking back on my stories, and a character that I feel that I've neglected is Orca. Did I ever talk about Orca's 3 different creative process?
I think you might have, yeah.
I just want to do a quick refresher.
Sure.
I was about to do the old Ryan Born in the mountains, raised in the caves, But Killer Whale gave an experimental chemical by a rogue Navy group to turn him into a half man, half whale, complete murderer. And my idea for how I'm going to structure it now is that I want to give him a drive for a story, a goal. Mm-hmm. He needs a constant dose of a chemical, or he turns back into a whale. Mm. And that sounds horrible. Now imagine if you're in the middle of Cleveland and you turn into a whale. Mm. So his goal is, he kills the first guy, goes, oh fuck, and finds out only 3 people in the world know the chemical. They have never written it down. They refuse to. And the survivors usually have it tattooed to their skin in a language, usually, or some shit like that. So it's like treasure hunters, but but they're looking for chemical cocktails or whatever. I've also been really seriously looking at my current work. Mm-hmm. It's my urban fantasy piece, and I've worked specifically on the date that the fantasy creatures came over. It will be the same year Dungeons and Dragons came out. So in our world, we got Dungeons and Dragons. In this reality, they got actual dragons and dungeons.
Should have a tie into the Dungeons and Dragons animated series.
My one idea is that the first actual sighting of a dragon was in Disney World, where a fucking dragon tore through the amusement parks, and then just went to town on Florida or whatever Disney park was there at the time.
What would you call a non-copyright version of Disney World?
I was gonna call it. They were calling it. You ever hear about the amusement park place where the dragon appeared in? There's a reason why no one does. He burned the fucking place down.
You call it something like Shiny World.
I was about calling it like a fairy town.
Yeah.
Because they have a fairy theme, so when the dragon comes out, all he sees is fairies and gnomes and goes, oh, fuck, here I am again.
They had to rename it when fairies started appearing and chewing people's ears off or whatever.
And the joke that I do have, actually, is in this universe, Lord of the Rings is considered a racially charged text.
I wonder what they think about Shrek.
Oh, Shrek never got written.
Okay.
Because actually, the legal process got held up because they couldn't find an ogre who could act. And... the National Association of Ogres did not want... I want you to picture the picketers outside. Now picture picketers that are 12 feet tall and have skulls that are at least 11 inches thick in some spots. But I
just love that National Association for the Advancement of Orcs. Yeah. And NAAOC. Or no, oh, yeah, CP. No, wait. No, that doesn't
National Association for Advancement of Goblinoids.
Okay.
Goblinoids is a loose term that people came up with, even though that orcs don't like goblins. Goblins don't like ogres. Ogres don't like none y'all. But I do have one thing about this world, and my big theme is that I picked the 60s and 70s for the reason why I came over, is there are monsters who are just old enough to remember, I remember the old world and the sea of gold. And they're like, shut up, boomer. We got fucking cocaine in this world we're staying.
Like, what would be the lifespan of an orc?
I decided on it. Most orcs lived naturally in their old world, didn't live longer past 30 or 40. Poor food, poor diet. But with modern medicine health, they can live up to 70s, 80s.
Okay.
Elves actually peter out around 500 to 600. Dragons are physically immortal. Oh, by the way, dragons are the only creatures that can reproduce asexually in this world. They are born when elements combine. There was a horrible hurricane and storm happened. Remember Katrina? It was a dragon in this world. They call her Queen Katrina. She still lives in Louisiana. But my idea is that, but the whole theme is that this world that there's an issue boiling up. Is that they think their world got destroyed when they fucking yeeted. But then all of a sudden this dude who they call him the Prophet of Trees, is his elvish name. He picks up a plant that doesn't grow in this world, it only grows in the old world, and it's a sapling. Couldn't have been from the old one. Couldn't have been planted here. He says, our world still exists. And here's how we do it. We steal uranium to power up a spell. And that's not something the government's like hearing. I do want to play with the idea that there is a bit of tension between the races. Like, humans technically rule. Like, humans have the advantage by a... Sorry if I'm rambling here.
That's fine.
By a mountain and a mile, basically, because we were here for millions of years ahead of time. But, I bet you if every ogre, orc, and troll... Because they do like guns... Orcs are gun nuts. They're somewhere between gang members and NRAs sometimes. But the big thing I do want to have is that even though that there is this tension between species, there's a scene I plan where they have to stop an incantation and they have to drown it out. So the fucking bugbear shouts, "Here we go, brownies!" Because they love sports. They like the same stuff. It's the idea of immigration in a way, but it's an allegory for immigration in a way. But if the immigrants were 12 foot the ogres will shoot the fireballs. Why am I Italian? I don't know.
And notice that you get into Italian mode whenever you're like enthusiastic about something.
I think it's from the one time I met my great grandmother on my granddad's side. Because she got super animated, and also she yelled "fuck" more times than I've ever heard someone shout, and she was not angry. She was a happy fucking camper. But technically she's Sicilian, not Italian. But you're splitting hairs.
I want to mention before I forget, because I sent you the link on Facebook, was this fan comic of Dragon Ball Z meets The Critic. Where Jay Sherman from The Critic finds out that he's a Saiyan because he goes Super Saiyan when fighting this thug in an alley one night. And it's like, and he meets Goku and Vegeta, and they train him to be a Saiyan.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. It surprisingly has pretty good art, and it has like the characters all like sound like they're in character. Even Jay Sherman, you can just read all the lines in his voice, and it makes perfect sense. Also, one interesting thing is that they show like the skyline of New York, and they update it to where they show the Freedom Tower instead of the Twin Towers.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's a really neat detail that jumped out at me. Where I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And but yeah, it's also pretty funny. I know, like, immediately my immediate comparison was
Room Tales from Down Below.
no, I mean that kind of was in the back of my head, but mostly Tails Gets Trolled or Shag and Scoob, I think, and like this one actually is I don't know, there's a bit more sincerity behind it than I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels I don't know it's I guess I don't know there's a sort of a genuine feeling to it. And I like it. It's goofy, but it's not like Grim Tales from Down Below level where it's taking itself too seriously. The author definitely knows that it's kind of a gag, and it's not like he's building a media franchise or cinematic universe or whatever. That reminds me, I need to check back on Grim Tales because I know that they're still updating.
You're gonna
Powerpuff Girls D.
You're checking for like...
No, like I dropped one of my nuts in here.
Oh no, I thought you were like gonna pull out like the fucking book Powerpuff Girl D and just like...
I think that he was selling like physical copies at one point. I don't know if it was on the Snafu Comics website or if it was just at conventions, but I think that at one point the first like 3 volumes were for sale in print. And I wish I had picked up one of those when I had the chance, but... I don't know.
Got a question for you. Now, what's your opinion of a comic that shows the villain early? Like, who the villain is first issue of, say, a 5-issue comic?
Well, if like 5-issue comic, then that's fine, I think.
Yeah.
If it's like a really long comic, then
it's like, it's like fucking issue 1 of Spider-Man, like, I'm Norman Osborn, and he's still wearing a goblin glove.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did in Ultimate Spider-Man, where they introduced Norman Osborn in the first issue, from what I remember. He's there from like the first page because the first page is them like at Osborn Labs and like showing all the like genetically engineered like there's a genetically enhanced cats, and they go through the spider, and the spider escapes, and of course gives Peter the bite. But yeah, like in Spider-Man, there's like a pantheon of different villains.
Yeah.
So it's not like Green Goblin is the only main villain throughout the whole series.
It would be kind of cool. I would do a comic where they introduce Eddie Brock, and then if they ever reboot Spider-Man or if it's a spinoff, here's what you do: Eddie Brock, and you have him at the thing, and you see a big tank of black liquid, and everyone's going, "Oh!" And then it bonds to Parker, and that's when you see the spider.
I mean, it did bond to Peter in at first before it got to Eddie.
But
right?
I mean, like, what if Brock got bit instead? Picture Spider-Man, but he's an abusive asshole who just punches people's heads off. Eddie Brock was fucking cool in the original version. Like the original, he was I liked early Venom. Because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking ruin this Spider-Man.
Was Eddie Brock in Ultimate Spider-Man more of a nerd, or am I remembering that wrong?
I think he was more of
He was like Peter's best friend.
I would call him a nice guy, but I don't mean a nice guy.
Right.
But in the original comic, he was a hot-headed journalist who really liked working out.
Right.
And when he first became Venom, he would do things where he would talk to you, but he would go "We have a question for you, thugs. Do you believe in, donkeys?" What? Or I don't know. What?
See, this is why I need to get my brain back together so I can salvage whatever punchline you were trying to make.
Yes, you have to salvage the jokes with me half the time.
Yeah, I gotta catch them in midair before they splat out.
I'm out of work, 1 week out, and I'm fucking back to basics here.
You get used to it. I mean, I shouldn't be used to it. I mean, that's why I'm trying to get back to my comic,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and also speaking of Powerpuff Girls, I was thinking about, because that Dragon Ball Z Meets the Critic comic, that kind of made me want to revisit that Powerpuff Girls fan comic that I had in mind, where it's you don't actually show the Powerpuff Girls. It's after they've left, and it's focuses on the secondary characters. I would like to sort of give that a shot if I wasn't trying to get the Yesterday Kids comic finished.
Do you know what I would do for one of the characters? Here's what I do for JoJo. Chemical X is worn off. And the whole issue is can we still hold him accountable for his crimes? He's a fucking monkey. And they leave him alone with the mayor or whatever. Or and then he starts choking them as they look, and he goes, "JoJo!" And fucking throws them out the window. And that would be the end. It's is he really a monkey? Or is he, is he the monster or is he the man deal?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go that dark with. I mean, that's kind of what.
Not the mayor, but have him kill some animal.
That stuff is kind of what made Powerpuff Girls or Bleed Man sort of notorious, was having all this fucked up shit. Yeah, edgy shit. I don't you didn't get to the part in Grim Tales where they get
the
into
abortion.
The abortion stuff, where they actually show the silhouette of the baby being held up by the leg.
The fuck?
Blood dripping from it.
I need to fucking finish that. It had Spawn and Powerpuff Girl. It's
And the Redeemer shows up.
I hate the Redeemers in here. Redeemer's my favorite character. He's the only character who's what's your superpower? And he goes, Catholicism. What's your power? Roman Catholicism. What's your power? Jiu-jitsu. So, I'm funny.
Yeah. But I remember, I don't actually think I wrote down anything for my idea, but I still there's a lot of character stuff that's been retained in my brain, at the expense of forgetting all my family members' birthdays. That's just making space for that.
What's your birthday? I'm fucking dying as you're pulling the shard of metal out their gut. I had this idea of an adventure game or something. I'm sorry, that's dumb, that's horrible. I had this idea of an adventure game, and one of the puzzles is you have to get a key from a guy's neck, but he's impaled by a pitchfork, and he's not bleeding out quick enough for your efforts. So you just grab the pitchfork and you pull it out of him.
Sounds like a God of War set piece.
Yeah, but it's like he's fucking bleeding out for like 10 dialogue options, and you have to keep talking to him like, fucking die already.
So it's more like Disco Elysium.
Kind of. My idea is like you play as one of 3 people who are latent psychics who are invited to this mansion. There's a spooky ghost, but turns out that there's a whole bunch of inbred psychic super soldiers underneath the mansion, and their psychic energy is causing fuckery going on. And and my big twist is if you level up, you get a bad ending for the more level ups you get. You have a choice: open your mind's eye, or stay human.
Oh, speaking of psychic powers and death, I was revisiting As Told by Ginger.
Fucking, how was it?
It's actually pretty good. It's about as good as I remember it. And yeah, I always liked As Told by Ginger. Like I don't care what anybody else says. The character designs are fine. I don't like. People always say like the character designs are like really really ugly. I must be the only person on Earth who it's never bothered.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Most of the characters have like lips at the bottom of their chin, and mouths like that. It never really like I don't know. I just never really noticed it. It never really bothered me. I don't know why. It's just yeah.
Keep your hands on your nuts, Tony.
But yeah, it never really bothered me. It's like going off of, I guess, most of the Klasky Chupo art style cartoons at the time. It actually felt more dialed back than, say, the Wild Thornberries or most of the other.
I like Wild Thornberries, but more for the fact it has animals.
Yeah, I think for that, I would have appreciated a cleaner looking art style because like the stories were a bit more grounded in reality or no, like I guess it was more of like an adventure show, so I guess I would have preferred like an art style more like that. And As Told by Ginger, I think the art style works for me because like a lot of the characters are very awkward. They're kind of like
Weirdos.
Yeah, they're weirdos. They're figuring out who they are and their place in life, and they look the way that they feel. And I think that really works to their like the advantage to the art style. That's my defense of. I feel like the art style doesn't get enough defense.
You know what art style what I really hate when it comes to some arts? I hate art where the perspective shifts. Say I hear, but when it shifts, you know what I'm talking about? That fucking drives me nuts.
Yeah. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, some cartoons use do that, especially cel shaded ones that had lower budgets. But some digital ones do it too.
Yeah. But the way that As Told by Ginger ties into death and psychic powers is that there actually are some there are a couple of characters who die throughout the course of the series.
There's the teacher.
There's the teacher. There was a old lady, and there was one of the characters' mom. Like one of the plots of the episode is that it's her funeral, and Hoodsy, the kid brother, he has to give a speech at her funeral. He doesn't know what to say because he really hated her.
She's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, his grandma. So it's some really interesting. And the psychic power stuff comes from one of the characters who gets introduced later on who can move objects with their mind. And I always thought that was pretty cool, like how they just have just on a whim they have a character who has telekinesis.
And Ginger walks in and is a menacing mark.
It always made me that stuff kind of gave me the and the old lady who dies in I think the 3rd episode of the 1st season. She actually comes back as a ghost in the Halloween episode, as an actual ghost that appears, and stuff like that always made me think of As Told by Ginger taking place in a universe similar to Earthbound.
I was thinking the same thing by how you describe just casual ESP.
Yeah, it's casual telekinesis to casual psychic powers or casual ghost stuff like that.
I got made fun of because I didn't know what an Esper was. I thought Esper is a term for autistic kid.
They use that term in Mob Psycho. So.
You know how I first heard the term Haruhi Suzumiya?
It must be a Japanese term.
Yeah, they like it a lot.
Yeah. It always made me think of As Told by Ginger taking place before or after the big event that a game like Earthbound would have. So like, yeah, I don't know. That's sort of my headcanon.
I need to watch a lot of the older. I liked Real Monsters quite a bit. I fucking like the art style.
Yeah, the art style fit really well with that one.
I like the guy with the eyes. You know, that weird wombat thing.
I think that we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Right before the hour mark, and I've run out of things to talk about, and also
So have
I've been Tony,
I've been Zach.
and this has been the Monkey Bar.